Hey guys, what's up? Dean Soto here, and I am coming at you from Memphis International Airport. I'm visiting a client out here, and was doing some work out here for them, and going to be heading back home soon. But I wanted to do this video. One, to say I hope you're doing well, and I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos under this YouTube channel. And they're going to be all about business and just business in general, not kind of moving away from Amazon, moving away from just the Amazon FBA type stuff, and even the Amazon drop shipping. I know that that's basically what a lot of people enjoy is Amazon, but there's so much more out there when it comes to business, and that's just one piece of the pie, especially when you create systems. Okay, so we'll talk a lot about asset building, a lot about systems, a lot about creating new ways to generate income and build a system around it, and then it becomes an asset that you can actually sell later on if you want to, things like that. So all that being said, I am a little sick, so I might be coughing a little bit, so apologize, just the way it is. But here, let me go. I'm gonna go over here real quick, so I'm not just kind of wandering about. All right. So, asset creation and systems. Why talk about that right now? Well, one, because it really is the only way to build a real business. Two, I've had numerous times when people who have bought one of my products, say, I'm going to get like a selfie stick or something like that at some point in time. Say someone who's bought Dream Drop Shipping or something like that. I need to move around actually, never mind. Something like that, they go full force into it, create themselves a job, and then something happens and it all comes crashing down. I've seen that happen numerous times with Amazon FBAers. I've seen that happen numerous times with people who do any sort of business. It doesn't really matter. In fact, with the client that I'm at right now, he was smart enough to have me come on and consult with him, not very cheaply, in the tens of thousands of dollars a month range, to have me come and consult with him, teaching him how to create systems using virtual assistants, and have this virtual assistants actually document stuff for them and create just a amazing automated system all around. Okay. So why do you want to do that? Well, because really that's the only way to build a true business, like I said. And two, it's the only way to create an asset that's sellable, scalable, that can grow, that'll constantly give you cash flow as time goes by. So that frees you up to then go do something else to generate income, okay? To go do something else to generate income. So I'll give you an example with one of my courses, with the Dream Dropshipping course that you can get at dreamdropshipping.com if you'd like. With that course, I teach people how to sell on Amazon, and specifically how to drop ship on Amazon, which means that you don't have to buy any inventory. You don't have to spend money up front buying a whole bunch of stuff that you don't know whether it's going to sell or not. And even if it does sell, you're not stuck with the inventory itself. See if I can do this. And so you're not stuck with the inventory itself if, say, you get a bunch of competitors coming in. You're not stuck with the inventory if Amazon says you can no longer sell this anymore and it gets restricted, which has happened many times to people. So you are just using, you're essentially a broker. You're using Amazon as a place to find customers. You list your products. When the product sells, Amazon says, hey, this product is sold. You go to your supplier, tell the supplier, hey, can you charge me and then ship it over to this other address? And then they it gets confirmed. Amazon gives you their money, or your money. The supplier gets their money, and there should be a spread in between. So you get, say, 10, 15, 20, 30, sometimes even up to 50 if you're lucky, depending on the product. 50% of whatever the price is. I'll give you an example. There's one product that I have that sells once every maybe 6 months, and I sell it for $2,500. And when it sells, I actually make about $1,500 profit off of that. That's very rare, very rare to get that type of profit, but it happens. Now, the reason why, in particular, I like drop shipping is because it's very conducive to creating systems and building an asset. Okay, very conducive to building systems and creating an asset. Now, why is that? One, it's very easy operationally to develop operations. So you're not packing boxes. You're not having to hire anybody in-house. You're not having to even use a prep center or anything like that. It's literally the customer, Amazon, you, and your supplier. So you can then hire staff to find suppliers for you. You can hire staff to fulfill orders for you. You can hire staff to, what else do I have them do? Hire staff to list products for you, create bundles for you, things like that. Now, I know I said we were going to get away from Amazon, and we are in a lot of these talks, because I do believe Amazon is just one little piece of the pie, but it's an easy piece, especially when you're drop shipping, to show how to create systems. So you have all your documentation, your system documentation, showing how to do those things, finding ideas, finding suppliers, contacting suppliers, fulfilling orders, things like that. And you're able to have those done overseas. You're able to have maybe you have, say, a 16-year-old son or daughter, or 18-year-old son or daughter, and you're able to then have them do it because they're just following a step-by-step process. There's a number of ways that you're able to do that. So, once that's all in place, now you have a system. And say you want to sell that business. You can easily sell it to whoever the investor would be. Either they can take the already existing staff, or just take the system documentation that you currently have and build another staff around that system documentation, and they can just continue on doing exactly what you've done. Or you can just let it run and make an extra $250, $500, $1,000, $10,000, however it might be, depending on how much you actually have in that particular system. There's also automated ways to do that as well. But the whole point is you're able to create an asset. So we're going to talk about asset. What is an asset? What is an asset? Well, an asset is something that pays you, that you've purchased or that you've acquired in some fashion or another, that pays you, that gives you revenue or profit. Okay, generally it's profit. I mean, obviously it's going to be profit, because otherwise it's going to turn into a liability. So something that pays you without you necessarily having to do something. Okay, something that pays you. It's the simplest form. Yes, there's other definitions for it, but kind of like the Robert Kiyosaki definition is, it's something that pays you without you having to do anything. So it might be a business. It might be something like a house. A house. It could be an annuity. It could be something like a fund that you put money into that pays you dividends, or stock that pays you dividends. It could be any of those things, right? So that being the case, we are always trying to figure out how can we create an asset. One of the questions I always get, whether it's, I even had it with one of my clients here, one of their employees. Don't tell my client, but I had it with one of their employees. Is they asked, how can I start creating something on the side that I can use to start developing, to maybe even quit my job. Like I said, don't tell don't tell my client. Because most people want that. They don't like working a 9-to-5 job. It's so sexy to be able to not have to do that, right? So they asked, like, how can I go about doing that? Because I want to be able to go out on my own. I want to have as much time as I want and be able to do what I want and all that other stuff. Well, here's the problem. It's not about quitting your job. It's about using whatever resources that you have to develop and create assets. One thing that I wish I would have done is I wish I would have stayed at my full-time job, knowing what I know now, because I was essentially making 6 figures at my full-time job, and then with the side business at the time, I was making another 6 figures. Okay, which is great, obviously. I'm making more now. I'm making a lot more than I was doing when I was at my full-time job, but it took a few years. If I would have, say 5-6 years ago, just been okay with my full-time job and saw that, hey, this is a great way to start investing in real estate, or to invest in a new business that runs by itself, or to invest in an annuity, or to invest in something that's bringing me cash flow every month. By now, I would have been sitting pretty with passive income, with so much passive income that I'd be continually buying new assets, just with stuff that came in without me having to work. All right, so not that I'm in a bad place now. I'm definitely in a fantastic place. But I would have been there much faster. Much faster. So what can you use right now to start building some passive income? And a lot of people think, oh, there's nothing I have. I have my full-time job. I don't have anything that is going to allow me to start building up my passive income. Okay, hold up. Relax. All right. Most people think that, but guess what? Most people are wrong, and it's not true. So I see so many people, they'll go and buy, this $5,000 course, or they'll even go buy my course, and I see people who buy my course and don't use it, which, I mean, as long as they don't refund, that's actually oh well, but. People will buy a $5,000 course, then they'll spend $10,000 trying to get something made in China. And if you've done that, I apologize, but not the wisest thing to do. And don't realize that they could have used that same amount of money to make, say, $150 to $250 in passive income. How could that happen? Passive income that they know that they're going to get for a while, for at least 3 years. Huh? How's that possible? Well, there are things out there such as annuities. There's things out there that are real estate funds that pay you on a monthly basis. There are things out there like social lending that pay you on a monthly basis. You just have to know how to do it the right way. Okay? So when I buy $20,000 in social lending notes, I know for me, I generally get back about $370. Okay? $370. And I can go and arbitrage that with debt and everything like that. And it's kind of getting a little complicated, but I can generally start getting $370 back. I can arbitrage it to where I'm only paying, say, $15,000 for that note, even though it's $20,000 worth. And then over time, I can actually make it even better than that. Okay? So, all that being said, there are ways to use what you have now to start developing passive income, okay? How much are your expenses right now? How much are your expenses? Most people don't even keep track of how much they're spending every month. Do you have $500 left over every month? Do you have $1,000 left over every month? Do you have $2,000 left over every month? Do you have $50 left over every month? How much are your expenses? Do you need those expenses? And I know you're probably thinking, okay, well, but how do I start building assets? How do I start building passive income with this? Well, hold on. The cool thing is that when you understand how much you have for expenses and how much you have left over, then you start knowing how much in passive income you need, okay? So I know some people who need $2,000 a month in passive income. Some people who need $3,000, $4,000, okay? Well, if you're able to start generating enough passive income to where you meet that by itself, don't you think that would be that would be something that would be a little bit on the financial freedom side of things? So say you need $3,000 a month, and you know that you have an extra $2,000 every month, okay, give or take. Let's say an extra $2,000 every month. Well, you could buy, for every 10 months, say it's $20,000, and you're able to buy a house somewhere in the United States, which you can, I've done it, somewhere in the United States for, say, $70,000. So with closing costs and everything like that, every 10 months, you can buy one house that brings $250 a month. $250 a month, okay? So after 4 houses, you have $1,000, okay, coming in. After 4 houses, you have $1,000. 8 houses, you have $2,000. 12 houses, you have $3,000 coming in. And that's paying for all of your expenses. So at your day job, that's all money that you can then invest. So now you have $3,000 coming in, which leaves, how much do you have on hand now in disposable income? If you had $2,000 and your expenses were $3,000, that's right, you have $5,000 left, right? After everything. So now you're only waiting how long? How long are you waiting every time you have, obviously this is very simplified, but how long are you waiting to buy that next house? About 3 to 4 months. See how things kind of accelerate a little bit? And all of that is icing on the cake, every single little bit of that passive income, okay? Icing on the cake. And you can start paying off those houses that you have. And you're going from $250 a month to what, like $700, $800 a month per house from then on. Plus, you're going faster and faster and faster and faster. So, after 5 to 10 years, rather than doing the stupid long-term IRA 401k stuff, after 5 to 10 years, you not only have your retirement all set, you have, close to $1 million, if not more, in assets that you can then use for leverage for buying other assets. You can do things like 1031 exchanges and things like that. But you have your expenses paid for. You are accelerating how many more houses you can buy. You are just doing a whole bunch of things that you never did before. That's just with being disciplined personally, I would say within, depending on how aggressive you are, within 3 to 10 years. Most people wait. They get a job at 20 and they spend 40 years hoping that they're going to have a retirement. You wait 3 to 10 years, you do this for 3 to 10 years, and not only do you have a retirement, you are just having, you generally, and obviously it's not always going to be the case, there's risks and everything, but you have a good opportunity of having monthly financial freedom, okay? Monthly financial freedom and wealth to be able to do whatever you want. Okay, that's why I love assets. That's why I love things like that. Businesses can be an asset. Real estate can be an asset. And annuities, dividend stocks. There's so many different things that you can do that become assets, where their passive income is coming and you're not having to do anything for it. So like on the real estate that I have, that came from me taking money that I got from my business, and even from other things, like my IRA and stuff, but that's a long, complicated story. But buying the real estate that I have, I bought over time with my business. My business was already an asset with drop shipping and things like that. But it was things that I got through my business. The funds that I got through my business went straight into those investments. And now those investments starting to build up and build up and build up and build up, right? To where every time I want to invest in another piece of property, it gets easier and easier and easier and easier, okay? So, start thinking in assets, okay? Start thinking in assets. And what we're going to do is I'm going to create videos over time. Let me know what's resonated and what's not. Let me know what's resonated and what's not. And those things that have resonated, please let me know. Or things that you want me to talk about, want me to specifically talk about, please let me know in the comments. Give this a like, subscribe, do all those things. We're going to build this out into something pretty big, okay? All right, this is Dean Soto. Catch you later.